Hi guys, welcome again to another section of this online WASSCE tutorial. My name is Teacher Mage and today I'm going to be teaching you basically how you can answer the questions on the biology paper 3. I've been a proctor for the past 3 years and one thing I've seen is that most of the students who go to write the WASSCE do not know the questions that come on the biology paper 3 and how they can answer those questions. So today I'm going to be teaching you about the paper 3 in biology. What are the questions that you should expect to come on the test? How do you answer these questions? There are three types of papers that WASSCE is going to give you when you go to write your exam. One of the papers that WASSCE is going to give you will be titled Paper 1, and the other paper will be titled Paper 2, and the other paper is going to be titled Paper 3. So each of those papers, as we've said, contain different information within them. So paper 1 basically has to do with the objective questions. Objective are the multiple choice questions. And paper 2 will contain the essay questions. Paper 3 is going to have alternative practical questions. So today we are going to look at what are the alternative practical questions and how do you answer them in biology. So the alternative practical questions, these questions are designed to access the same practical knowledge that will be developed when you go to the lab. So when you are doing biology, you can go to lab. So when you go to lab, there will be experiments that you have to do. So these experiments that are done within the lab are the same thing that WASSCE is going to bring within the paper 3. But then these experiments that will be in paper 3 now, they are going to be given in written format. That is, they will design these experiments, write them in the booklet, and then you look at them, and then you provide the answers for them within your booklet. So these paper 3 questions, they are designed to help you interpret and evaluate data, and then they are also there to help you construct hypotheses and also to design methods to determine the concentration of substances. So when you go to the test, they are going to give you this paper, and then you are going to see on a 3B, which means biology paper 3. So when you open this paper, you are going to see a lot of diagrams. They want you to interpret these diagrams, evaluate them, and provide answers to them just as you do within the lab. Before you can answer any question on the paper 3, you firstly have to know which diagram is before you. So today, I want us to basically look at few diagrams that come within the paper 3. So we are going to read the questions that are on them, and then we provide the answers to them, practical answers to them, and when we're going to write them within this booklet. Okay. So the first diagram that we are going to look at today is this. So this diagram, I will also draw them on the board, and I will explain to you how you can easily identify them when you see them on your exam. So it says the diagrams below are illustrations of structures found in a living cell. Study them and answer questions 1A to 1F. There are simple ways that I remember the organelles that are within the cell. So, like for example, so whenever you see a structure like this in biology, this represents the mitochondria. This is how I remember the names of the organelles that are within the cell. So whenever I saw a structure like this, and in the form of this shape, like a bread or something, the fuller bread we can buy here, I know that this is a mitochondria. And then whenever I saw a structure like this in a circle form, and then within the middle they have something else in the middle, maybe it could be drawn like this, it could be drawn like this, and it has some dot dots here. Know that this is basically the nucleus of the cell. So this is the nucleus, and then we have the genetic material within the nucleus, the DNA, and all of the RNA within the nucleus. So whenever you see a structure like this, like a banana, okay, know that this is a Golgi apparatus. Yes, we either say Golgi apparatus or we say the Golgi body. This we can name as the mitochondria, and this we can name as the nucleus. So whenever you see this structure, the first thing that should come to your mind is the endoplasmic reticulum. So we can easily call them ER for short, or we can spell them out. So we have the endoplasmic reticulum. Now there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. When you see the endoplasmic reticulum with none of these dots, consider this endoplasmic reticulum to be smooth endoplasmic reticulum, SMOOTH. But when you see the endoplasmic reticulum and it has these dots on them, they are no longer smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they become rough endoplasmic reticulum. That's the difference between the two types of ER. One of them have ribosomes attached to them. So those are the four structures that they have here. Those are simple structures that will always come for identification on alternative practical questions. You should know a nucleus, you should know a mitochondria, you should know a Golgi apparatus, and then you should know the ERs. Now that we've identified the structures, we've known how to easily name the structures, we can go ahead and answer the questions that they have here on this practical test. So the first question on the test here is, name the group of organisms that possess the structure labeled T. So now they want us to tell them which kind of organisms in the world possess a nucleus. We know that the nucleus is within a cell and it is one of the most important organelles within the cell that can be used to distinguish between different types of organisms. Basically, there are two types of organisms that we have based on the presence of nucleus within the cell. So all of the living things on earth that contain nucleus within the cell, they are called eukaryotic organisms. For example, we humans, we have nucleus within our cells, so we are also eukaryotic organisms. And any living thing that does not have nucleus within their cell, consider them to be prokaryotic organisms. So that means they do not have two nucleus within their cells. Example includes the bacteria. So now the question is, which kind of organism possesses the structure labeled 3? Means the name of the organism that contains the structure will be what? Eukaryotic organisms. And then 2, they say name the instrument used to observe and study the illustrated structures. These structures, we cannot see them in our naked eyes because they are so tiny. So if we want to study a cell and we want to look at the organelles that are within the cell, we use what? The microscope. Then the third question is, what is the general name for the structures illustrated? So to find the general name, we firstly have to know whether these things belong to plant cells or animal cells. So when we check here, we see that we have rough ER, we have the mitochondria, we have the Golgi apparatus, and we have the nucleus. And then we'll get to understand that all of these organelles, they can be found in plant cells. At the same time, they can be found in animal cells. So the general name for this could be plants and animal cell. Then the next question says we should identify the structures labeled 1 to 4. So we've already done them. In the space here, where they put R, you just take R and then put mitochondria. R2 for Golgi apparatus. Then 3, look for 3 when you see the nucleus. So you write here nucleus. And then 4, we have this ER. But then if you can see the ER, there are ribosomes on the ER making it rough. So then the name of this ER now will be rough endoplasmic reticulum. The next question says, state 2 reasons for the identification of 3 in 1. One of the reasons why the identification of the nucleus here is important is because the nucleus can be used to give differences between types of living things. Like for example, when you study a cell and you see that there are nucleus in that cell, that particular cell belongs to which kind of organism? eukaryotic organism. When you study a cell and you see that that cell does not have a nucleus, then that cell belongs to a prokaryotic organism. The second importance of why the identification of the nucleus is because the nucleus can also help us to know the genetic composition of an organism. We go to the next question. The next question says, state two characteristics of tissues that contain lots of the structure label 1. The structure label 1 is for the mitochondria. So now they say we should give two characteristics of the tissues within the body that have plenty mitochondria, lots of mitochondria. The first thing we have to know is, what is a mitochondria? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. This is the one that gives the cell the energy it needs to perform all of the functions that it wants to perform. So now that we've known the function of the mitochondria, they want us to state two characteristics of tissues that contain enough mitochondria. So tissues are a group of cells within the body that perform the same function. Example is blood. Blood is a tissue. Then we have the muscles. Our muscles contain enough mitochondria. The first characteristic of a muscle is that the muscle allows what? Movement, right? Another function of the muscle tissue is to help in temperature regulation. Let's take, for example, the place is very, very cold. So one of the ways you can get hot, sometimes you can see that your body starts to shiver, your muscles start to vibrate. That is because the brain has noticed that the temperature within the body has dropped because of the coldness. So the brain is telling the muscle, oh, you have to shiver to produce heat so that the temperatures within the body will come back up to normal. Next question says, state one function each of the structures labeled 1, 3, and 4. The mitochondria produce what? The energy for the cell. It is the powerhouse of the cell. And then the nucleus contains the genetic information of the cell. The ERs have a lot of functions. So we should just give one. One of the functions is to transport proteins. The next question says, name one cell in humans that possess plenty of the structure label 1. So we've named tissue in the body that possess plenty of a mitochondria. So they say again, we should name cells in the body name one cell in the body that contains plenty of the mitochondria. So that would be what? Muscle cells. 2 does not possess the structure label 3. So they say again, we should name one cell that does not possess the structure label 3. Structure in the body that does not possess a nucleus is the red blood cell. The next question says, an organism that possesses a single cell is what? So any living thing that have just one cell, we call you a unicellular. Then they say name 4 examples of organisms mentioned in 1F1. So 4 examples of unicellular organisms are, one, we have amoeba, AME. Those are 4 examples of organisms that are unicellular. Thank you. Whatever questions you have, you can put them in the comment section and then I'll be able to address them back to you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you can share with your friends so that they can be able to understand some of the questions that come on the paper 3. Thank you so much.